Hello and welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to break down how we did 1.6 mil in 90 days. Yeah, as you can see here, those are our numbers. And yeah, let's dive into it. Yeah, we will cover in that video like product research, how we are researching for products, how we set up our store, how we test on Facebook and on what things we are actually looking, how we build our teams, how to hire A players, and how to transition from dropshipping into a real brand that has a real exit value. Those are all the things that I'm going to cover now, and I would say let's dive into it. Yeah, product research. What do we do? We do our product research basically on data, not gambling, because most people or most gurus out there are saying like, yeah, test 100 products and maybe one is working, but that's not the approach we like to do because it costs time and it costs also money to test a lot of products, and that's something we don't want to spend, and we don't want to invest so much time without being sure that a product is actually working. Because when you look at, for example, really big brands like, for example, Apple or Nike, before they drop like a product or before they go into a different market, let's say, they do a lot of research because they don't want to waste their money. And that's also what you should consider, because when you start out, it's the best thing to, yeah, not waste money. You want to be sure when you find a product that is probably going to work. There is never a 100% guarantee, but with our method or with our, yeah, system, you will have like a better chance of finding a winning product. And let's dive into it. What do? We go, for example, always, we don't use paid tools. You can use paid tools, it will save you time. But I don't know, we just use the Meta Ads library or the Facebook Ads library because, like, yeah, I did it my whole life like this, like for the past 3 years, and I found success with it. So I don't change the system, to be honest. And what do? We use keywords like 30% off, plus free shipping, limited time sale, get yours now, because those are like actual drop shipping headlines, and also like headlines where a sale is going on. And when we put it in here, as you can see in the Facebook ad library or a Meta ad library, you will get a lot of ads for many different products, and that's what we want. We typically do United States because we don't want to get ads served from India or countries like Brazil where we don't want to sell. I mean, you can put in United States, find a product that's selling there and expand it to different markets if you would like to do. But yeah, that's totally up to you. And what we also do is we apply filters, like, because we don't want to get ads served that are published yesterday, because they don't give us proof that a product is actually working. So what do we do in terms of filters? As you can see here, in the ads library, there is a button for filters. You click on it, and then a pop-up will come up, and it looks like this. What you have to choose is like active status. The ads have to be active. So when you don't put it in, it says active and inactive, but we don't want to get served inactive ads. That is why you should use active ads. And impression by date is also very important. We always go like 1 to 2 weeks in the past, because that means the ads are active for 1 or 2 weeks, depending on what we choose. The longer the time horizon you put in there, like for example, 2 months, the fewer ads you will get served, because there are not that many ads that are active for over a month. So what we typically do is like 1 to 2 weeks to filter out, yeah, stores or ads that really run ads and have active ads for over 1 to 2 weeks, because it gives us proof that this business or this store has to do actual sales and it has to be profitable, because otherwise nobody would run it over that time. There will be a few cases where that happens, but this is just like a different game now, where, for example, a company is venture backed that they can spend ads and be unprofitable, or have like a subscription plan where they know, okay, they have a high customer lifetime value and they get profitable after 6 months. But when you find stores like that, you will figure out that this could be the case. But just so you know, our sweet spot is like 1 to 2 weeks. And yeah, that's why we use this filter. And when we look for stores, we choose those stores or those products where, when we go in the ads library and click on all active ads to a specific store or to a specific product, we really want to see like active ads above 30, because that means they have 30 ads active right now, which is also like a good sign that those people are testing a lot. And when you test a lot, there is also a good chance that they are profitable, because you don't test that much in the beginning. What we do next is we use shophunter.io. For those of you who don't know the app, that's like a software, or not the app, it's like a software where you can track like online stores. You can track like, for example, the Udi or any other store that comes in your mind, and you see actually how much revenue they are making on a daily basis, and also over a time period of a week and a month. And you also see like what products are selling the best in the store. So it gives you a really good understanding of a store of what products are selling the best. The pricing, I don't know exactly, it's like $50 a month, but you also have like a free trial. In the free trial, you can only track 3 stores and you can't remove them. So when you use a new email address, for example, you can add 3 stores, and then what you have to do is like you have to create a new URL for a new email, for example, and do it again, do it again, do it again. That's what you can do, but I would suggest just get the Starter Plus package, pay $50 a month, and you can, as you can see here, like track 25 stores. You can also remove them, so that's what we use. You don't have to change plans or anything, but you can track a lot of stores and really figure out, are they making sales and what product is selling the best when they offer, for example, more products. Yeah, and when you log in, you can see the dashboard is looking like this. And yeah, I mean, when we see, for example, exact that data, yeah, you can see they're averaging around, like, I would say like over 10K a month, a day, sorry. And when we see that, that's a very, very good sign that the store is actually making sales and that there is a real market for the product, because that's real data at what we're looking here. What we also do is, like, when we see stuff like that, we also go, for example, on Google Trends. We also go, because we go to on Google Trends to see when is the product selling the best. We put in the keyword of the product and see, for example, is it a summer product, is it a winter product, is it a product that sells during the whole year, just to understand like when is the best time to test that product. If it's a product that's going over the whole year, that's what we are typically looking for, because when we build a store, when we test a product, we really want to build a brand around it. And for me, the most important thing is like that you can get consistent sales during the whole year, because that means for you as a business owner that it's probably going to be a good business, because you don't want to test a product, for example, or want to build a brand where is like, you can make 4 months profit a year and the rest you have to switch off ads because it's unprofitable. Because we want to build real sustainable brands and want to make real profits, because that's what everybody wants to do. But a typical rule we follow is like, for example, when we see stores that do over 1K a day consistently, that's something we are interested in. But we also filter out as well after that step. When we have, for example, like 5 to 6 to 10 stores that are doing over 1K a day consistently, we look at all of those and see who or which stores are the worst in terms of creatives, which stores are the worst in terms of website, and then we decide the one store where we think we can improve the most with that product. That's how we typically do our testing, because when we do that, there is a high chance when we think we are better, and I'm confident that we are better than most at this time because we have a really good team. But then we know, okay, we can improve on that, we can beat that company, and we can get profitable as well. That's our whole framework around what product to test and also which competitor we are going to beat. And as soon as we have, like, for example, a store, we do reverse engineering. And what is reverse engineering? And that's something most people don't do when they start dropshipping or when they start testing products online. It's that, for example, we choose, let's say, a dog store. What we do is we do research on all platforms. We go on Amazon and see, okay, how many reviews does that product have? Because the more reviews the product has, the better it is on Amazon, for example, because it is proof that people need that product. We also go on Google Trends, as I mentioned before. We also look where is the brand marketing? Like, are they using Facebook? Are they using TikTok? Are they using Google, Snapchat, Pinterest, and so on and so forth? And when we see, for example, a brand is only doing Facebook, there is a high chance that we can get in and we can beat that company when we start with Facebook and Google, or when we start with TikTok, because they are not doing it. So that means that we have found a place or a platform where we can beat them. And that's what we typically do. We also look at, like, emails. Are they doing influencer shoutouts and stuff like that? So we really want to understand the business. We really want to figure out what is the platform, or what is the platform they are good at, and where is the money coming from. Because when you know it, you really know where you should focus on. Because, for example, when a store is only doing Facebook ads, there is a high chance that when you do better creatives, that you will beat them. And when you're also good in Google, or know how to run Google ads, when you combine that with Facebook, you will beat that company over time. And that's what we typically do to figure out, what product to test, what market to go into. And that's where most people don't spend enough time in it, because, as I said in the beginning, it's the most important thing to figure out who your customer avatar is. Like, you really have to understand who you're selling to, because without knowing it, there is no chance that you can get profitable. And most people just go on Facebook, ads library, find a product, copy everything and test it, and then they complain that they don't get results. But you really have to understand that building a business is hard, and the more research you do, the better, or the more expert you get in a specific niche, the higher the chances are that you are going to sell and that you are going to be profitable. And that's the first foundation which you should really focus on, is like doing research. And when I say research, I mean doing a lot of research, not like just one day. You should really focus a week, 2 weeks, just figuring out for specific stores how they are making money and what is the customer avatar, to really understand the business, the market, so you really have a chance to succeed in there. And when we have done that, we also, like, always use like specific sheets and to figure out how easy or how hard it is to be profitable. And I put here 2 sheets, and I will go over this one, for example. And it's also like like correlated with margin. Here you can see, you can forget about this. I will delete it Okay, I don't delete it, but I will just tell you what I mean or why we do that. For example, you can see ad spend of those two is the same. CPC is the same, conversion rate is the same. Only difference is like margin, like for how much we get the product and for how much we sell. You can see here we have a $23 margin and here we have a $70 margin. With the same metrics in terms of ad spend, cost per click, and conversion rate, we make with a bigger margin 400 profit and with a lower margin minus $500. So it's really important before you test that you really figure out, is there enough room for you to scale the product? Is there enough margin to be profitable? Because in that example, for example, when you have a product that is that low in margin, you need a 4-point conversion rate and you're still not profitable. You need a 0.8 CPC and you have 10% profits. When you get your AOV up to like 40, when you say $2 more for two products, for example, or for the upsell product, you have 27.5% net margin, but you need to make a 4% conversion rate. And that's not easy because to get a conversion rate that high, I mean, I know stores and my own store is higher than that, but it's really hard to nail a 4% conversion rate in the beginning. Normally, you test out a few things to get to that number. So you really have to keep in mind that when you test a product and that you should use this sheet, because in the example on the right, you can see that we only need a 2% conversion rate and we still do 22% profit. When I do a 1%, okay, then we are unprofitable, but a 2% is enough. A 1.2% CPC, 1.4% CPC, we are break even. And that's the most important thing about margin. For example, the higher the margin, the more room for errors you have, because like it's much easier to get a 2% conversion rate and a $1.4 CPC than on this example. And that's what you also have to consider when testing out a product. So the more margin you have, the easier it will be, and the easier it will be for you to be break even. And as soon as you break even, you have the chance to optimize and really become profitable. But in this case, it's very hard to nail these numbers in the beginning, especially when you're a beginner. Sorry, but my my voice is bad. Okay, let's go to the next sheet, what we use. It's like just a calculator of the KPIs, like as you can see here, average order value, cost of goods, target profit margin. And here you can see like the break-even KPIs, like we need, for example, I think I also found a problem in the calculator, but we use this calculator to really figure out which numbers we have to hit in terms of being profitable. The easier the numbers, the easier for us it's to getting the product profitable. And that's just all things we have in mind before testing a product, because the more research we do, the more we know the numbers, the more calculated risk in terms of testing a product we can make, and with the more confidence we have in getting a product profitable when we know everything. Like when we know, for example, we need a $20 cost per acquisition to be profitable, we know which things we can do in the back end or also in terms of creative to improve and to be more profitable. Yeah, and I mean that's the typical those are the typical steps we use to really get a real good picture of testing a product. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we do a lot before testing a product, and that's the point here, and that's what I really want to mention. And I think that's the thing most people don't know. You really have to do a lot of research to be profitable in online marketing or in, yeah, e-commerce. Yeah, and I would say let's dive into the next step. Store setup. The store setup is typically really easy. Like we use Shopify because it's the easiest software out there. It's also have like 3 months for $1, so there is not much risk included in the deal. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to a good website, I've prepared like the Udi and Plimi. Those are two big brands which have really nice websites, as you can see here. Um, yeah, I mean, like the homepage looks really nice, very good images. Um, I will just read over this, like what is important on the website: clean look, max of 2 colors, fast in terms of loading speed and quality images. And you can find everything here. As you can see here, 2 to 3 colors max, I would say. Like this color is everywhere, like as you can see here in all products almost. When you go on shop now, the page is loading really fast. You can see this color is everywhere again, and they don't do like 10 different colors because it's not a good customer experience, I think. And when I say like good images, those are really good images in terms of you can see people, you can, because people with your product or people wearing or using your product builds a lot of trust. You can also see like a few important things that boost conversion rates, like free 2 to 5 day shipping from Nevada. It's also a lot of trust because customers immediately know it's fast shipping. 30 free 30 days trial, so they know there is no risk included. When I'm not satisfied, I will get my money back, and also with easy returns. They know the return process is really easy. So those are all things that boost your conversion rate. When you drop ship, this will not be possible for you, but when you, for example, go to a 3PL, put your products in there, then this will definitely boost your conversion rate. As you can see here, reviews, very important. A good copy, very important. But here as well, like reviews from Facebook, like comments, also a lot of trust. And yeah, key benefits and features. And I mean, yeah, that's it. And when you go, for example, on the Uli, which is also an amazing website and an amazing company, yeah, let's select this, for example. You can also see like really good images, like people wearing the hoodie, people smiling, and also the product description is really good. They do it like that. They compare to the competition and they say ours is longer, which is a unique selling point, which is amazing. Here are a few nice icons for what the product can be used for: movie nights, evening naps. So those are all, yeah, good points why buying, for example, why or why customers should buy. What is also important is like they use like uh or not what is also important for the Udi, but is what is also important for your store when you sell products online, that you really make research of what payment providers the target country uses the most. Because the more payment providers you offer, the higher your conversion rate will be, because people just have the option to check out with every credit card or PayPal or I don't know, like they want. And that's very important for your conversion rate as well. So you really have to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, apps that we personally use for our website looks in terms of reviews. There are many other review softwares out there you can use I think probably all of them, but we use looks from the beginning, so that's why we stick to it. Then we use CP5, very important to get your average order value up. Why is it important? Because the higher your AOV, the more money a customer gives you with the first purchase, and that means the more profit you will have. What we also use is like vitals. We use a countdown timer. You can also use vitals for sticky add to cart, for bundles, for size charts right now. So vitals is $30 a month and has a lot of options for your store to implement a few cool things. We also use sticky add to cart, like the sticky add to cart booster app. Also important for your add to cart rate, because when you have a long description, for example, and customers scroll down, there should always be the option that the add to cart button is always on the screen, because boost add to cart rate. What we also use is Klaviyo. I think it's a no-brainer. There are other email softwares or providers out there, but we use Klaviyo because the setup is easy, and when you, I don't know, invest a day of your life, you will figure out what's important, how to set it up, and how to customize flows. It's not that hard, but when you're a beginner, you have to invest the time. And when you're making consistent sales, you can think of hiring an email agency, which we already did a long time ago. Here again, the payment options. As I said, for like the more you offer, the higher your conversion rate will be. Okay, next thing, like Facebook testing. I made 2 other videos about Facebook testing, and I've linked all of them, the sheets, also the Miro map here, so I will not go that deep into that section. But what we typically do in the beginning when we are testing a product is really finding a marketing angle on Facebook. For example, when we test on Facebook, we do an ABO, we do like 3 to 5 ad sets, and every ad set has a broad targeting with a different angle. For example, pain relief. For example, I don't know, I just don't I have no idea of another example right now, but that's not important. But we do for a specific product 5 different angles, and within that ad set, we use always 3 to 5 creatives to that specific angle. And when we found the angle that is working the best, we focus on that angle, and we also change the product page specific to that angle, because it will probably give us a better ROAS when we have like one message in the ads and exact the same message on the landing page. And that's what we test for on Facebook. And that's not a complicated setup. That's not with much ad spend related. We just like spend like $200 to $500 and really figure out which angle works the best. And as soon as we found something, we dig deeper into that. But I made like a doc sheet and also like a Miro map where you can see the setup and also like really understand what we do. And in terms of creative, again, we do research. We look what is the competition doing. I have here, I think, an ad library link for the UDI, and yeah, I mean, you can go over creatives, you can see what they're doing, but when I look at it, I see within the first second they're doing UGC a lot. There's a lot of UGC, there is a lot of what I see here, unpacking experience when they open the package. So when I see something like that from my competitor, there is a high chance that it is working, and I also focus on that. And when we see, for example, as on this example, that they are doing UGC, we do it as well, and we, yeah, go to our influencers or our UGC creators and tell them, hey, look what they, I mean, like we do a script and we don't copy, but we focus on the message of the UDI, for example, and really focus what are they doing in the ads, what are they saying, and craft our own message, and then script it, send it to the UGC creators, get content, and by doing that, there is again a higher chance that your product is going to work. How do we get those creators or creatives? What we typically do is go on Twitter. We type in like UGC opportunity, and when you do it, there will be a lot of posts where people are asking for UGC creators, and all the creators are applying there. So are 50 comments where people are just applying for a job or something like that, and you can write those creators and ask if they want to collaborate with you. We typically pay like $100 to $200 per creative because we look for quality over quantity. In the beginning, we did like $50 per creative, but the quality wasn't that good. So we really figured out that it is worth the money to pay more than, yeah, just get bad creatives, and in the end it doesn't convert and it isn't good. So it's really a good investment to invest in high quality creatives. Yeah, what to tell them to do, as I said, like we look what the competition is doing, we script like our own message, we craft our own unique, not unique solid selling point, but our unique big promise why people should buy from us, why our product is solving the problem, and then we make a script and send it over to them and get the creative back. Yeah, and by the way, we use Triple Whale for tracking. Just I haven't brought it up, but it's an amazing software to keep track because what we see in our ad account is that Facebook is only tracking like 50% or 60% of the conversions, which sucks and which makes it very hard for you to scale. So just to mention that you should also keep in mind that you should consider taking a tracking software because Facebook tracking is not that good in our case. Can be that there are ad accounts where the tracking is better, but in our case, it is not. Okay, so what is our creative system? What we typically do to scale to those numbers and to sustain those numbers, we have to put out a lot of creatives because creatives will burn out, and when you don't have new creatives in the pipeline, you have to scale down, and that's something nobody wants. What we do, we have a creative strategist in our team who is sourcing 5 to 10 creatives a week. So her job is really find creators that will fit to our brand, collaborate with them and negotiate deals, and also script everything and tell them exactly what to do, what to say, what the B-roll should look like. Typically, yeah, we do 5 to 10 creatives a week. We get them every week. And what we do next is like we also have a video editor in-house, and this video editor is creating 3 creatives a day for us. So we have like 15 creatives a week because he's only working from Monday to Friday. That means like 60 creatives a month, what we could test in terms of video creatives. But we also have like a correct graphic designer in-house, which also does a lot of images for us. So we test like over 100, 150, 200 creatives a month, because we don't want to run out of creatives that are working, and that's important when you want to sustain that high scale, that you really, as I said before, have like always creatives in the pipeline that you can even maybe scale higher or just sustain the scale. And that's our typical process of how we create creatives, also good creatives, and never run out of creatives. Next step is team building. We're currently doing like 500K to 1 million a month, and we have like 9 people working for us. And I think you don't need more people. and you shouldn't hire more people because it will just cost you more money, which makes you as an owner more unprofitable. Yeah. What are the positions? We have like 3 custom support people working for us who are answering all the emails, all the Facebook comments, all the TikTok comments, and yeah, also filter the wholesale inquiries for us. So if somebody's reaching out to our business, want a collaboration, we have like KPIs what they have to fit uh, when they want to collaborate, and they filter those out. So they are responsible for all messaging that comes into our business. Then we have a Facebook media buyer who is responsible for the media buying, and also he's close with our creative strategist, with our video editor, because he sees what is working, and he's also very yeah, important in terms of how the creatives look like or should look like. Then we have a Google media buyer who's responsible for the whole Google process. Then, as I said, we have a creative strategist who is responsible for marketing and also sourcing content, a video editor, a graphic designer, and a developer in case we want to make some changes on the website in terms to boost conversion rate. And yeah, I mean, that's the setup. We don't have more people than that. And I think you shouldn't have more because it will just make you more unprofitable and there are more fixed costs or more monthly costs for you. And you really don't need that. So I think you don't need more people than that when you want to go to 1 million a month. Yeah, what tools do we use to keep track on everything? We use Slack for communication because I think it's the best software out there. Yeah, whole communication of the whole business is happening in Slack. Then we use Trello for project management. For example, the whole creative system we do in there. So, for example, when a creative strategist and the media buyer want new creatives, they put it in there so the creative strategists know how to reach out, what the content creators should do. As soon as we get the content, we attach it to the video editor then cuts it, and so on and so forth. So the whole process is done in Trello. Then, of course, we use Google Meets for our meetings, Google Drive for all the files, and organized, yeah, structure for the creatives and stuff like that, because the more you grow, the more you will figure out that you really need to structure everything, because otherwise it will take you so much time to find things because there is so much going on in your business. And that's why it's very important, yeah, to keep everything organized and structured. Next thing, how to hire A players. And that's something that's really hard, especially if you're a beginner. Because I think, or it's my personal experience, that you just have to learn you just have to learn how people behave. Like, it's very hard to describe because for in my example, like when I hired first, I always hired the wrong people. Like they don't have the right attitude. They made a lot of mistakes and stuff like that because I didn't knew better uh, before. So I hired the wrong people. But I also think that's a little process. So the more people you hire, the more you speak with people, the yeah, more you learn about them, and the more you learn, the better decisions you can make. So I think it's like really a process of figuring out which people are good and yeah, understand if they're a good fit for your team. So that's something what's really hard, but you will get good along the way, I think. Um, but yeah, just to mention, it's the most important thing you do in business, because the better your team is, the higher the chances are that your brand or your store will scale. Because in my opinion, or I think in all opinions, like business is competition, and the better your team is, the higher the chances are that you win. What we typically do when we look for A players is like we go on Upwork, and for what criteria are we looking for? We are looking for people that are long in the specific job we are looking for. For example, when we look for a creative strategist, we only take people that are doing a creative strategist role for 3 to 5 years, that have good references, that have worked for good companies, and also have like maybe good, how should I say it, like good testimonials where people really say they're good and stuff like that. Because when you have all those things, there is also again a higher chance that the people are really doing a good job. Um, yeah, but what we typically, or we personally did, for example, we worked with a few marketing agencies, and we, for example, our video editor is like from one of those agencies because he did like very good job for us there. And what we thought was like, why don't we buy him out of the agency? I mean, that's like a bitch move, but yeah, he's amazing, and so we needed him. Like we really had to do everything to get him in-house, and that's what we did. And that's also a way to get like really good people, is when you know good people and they're working for someone else. When you can afford it, you should really consider that, because as I said, the better your team is, the yeah, better you will scale, the more revenue will make. It's as simple as that, because yeah, your business is your people. Yeah, and now let's come to the last step, like how to transition your dropshipping store to a real brand that has exit value. First things first, like you need to have custom packaging, like a real good customer experience. When a customer gets your product, they have to be excited, it has to look nice, they have to have good feeling about it. And that's really important, because when they never bought from you, it's the first impression. And when you do good on the first impression, there is a high chance that they're buying again, which increases your lifetime value, which brings you more profit. Very important. Get fast shipping. Like when you're doing consistent sales, when you see your product is working, when you have product market fit, you really should consider sending your products to 3PL. Because when you have like 3 to 5 days shipping, 1 to 5 days shipping, that's amazing. And your customers will love it. You will get much more positive feedback. Also, like your customers will like tell other people, like, hey, I bought a good product from that brand. You should consider buying it as well. And that's also something you have to keep in mind when you really want to transition from a dropshipping store to a real brand. What's also very, very important is amazing customer support. That, for example, your customer support should reply within a few hours. Like in our case, it's like 1 hour, because we have a very high standard there. And we tell them, hey, you have to reply within 1 hour to every ticket that comes in. It's just like customers know there is somebody they can ask a question for. They are really replying. So that's just what a good customer experience is. And that's what we really should focus on. And we use Gorgeous for that. It's like a software where you can integrate everything into one platform, like Facebook, TikTok. I think TikTok, we are not doing it with TikTok, but Facebook, uh, email, and all the messages that come to your business will be filtered in there, or will be put in there, and you can see everything in one software, which is amazing. You have also very good analytics about the response time, the resolution time. So yeah, it's amazing, because you can also get satisfaction service after a customer support answer wrote with a customer. So you see how they are doing, how they're performing, how satisfied the customers are, which is really important, because you want the feedback from the customer if they're happy with your product, but if they're also happy with your support. Because if that's not the case, you will have problems with payment providers, because when you have a lot of chargebacks, they will ban your account, for example. And that's also very, very good and gorgeous, because you have really good data, and you can see, for example, the satisfaction drops, that you have to make immediate changes, or that you have to change something, because or you can also figure out if, for example, your supplier makes shit, or the quality is not that good of the product, when satisfaction goes down. So it's a really good software to, yeah, measure customer satisfaction and also your support and have the KPIs in place. For example, in our case, like respond within an hour, that's what we guarantee, and that's very important for us. Uh, Unpacking experience, I already talked about that. And brand, create a brand that has a high exit value. The most important thing when you want to create a brand that has a high exit value is that you have everything in-house, because when you want to find a person that wants to buy your business, when, for example, you are the only guy working in there with your support and marketing is outsourced, and all the other things are outsourced, that's not good, because when, for example, your marketing agency goes out of business, your whole marketing channel is gone, and that's something you don't want, and that's also not good. When you look in the yeah, when you are the buyer and see a business that has everything not in-house, because it's a risk. And when you have everything in-house and all people are trained in-house, then there is yeah, it's a safety net, because you know that you can train the people, you know that those people are good, and there will not be the case that, for example, an agency goes out of business and then, for example, your whole email flow is gone, or your whole emails are gone and you have to find somebody new. You have time stress, and then you hire somebody that is not that good, then your email performance goes down, and so on and so forth. And that's something you don't want to do. And all the things that I discussed above are really, really important in terms of exit value. Like you need fast shipping, you need uh, happy customers. The best thing is when you have a subscription model, because when there are subscription based plans, for example, that yeah, are doing a good amount of sales, that's also safety for a buyer of your business, because they see, okay, there is, for example, 100K coming in every month from subscription, which makes the business more valuable. Yeah, and I mean, those are all things you have to keep in mind when you really think about exiting your brand, that you really try to make everything in-house and also try to make everything as good as possible. Yeah, and all tools, I think that's the last step. Yeah, all tools to scale. As I said, like we use Triple Whale for tracking, we use Shopify Plus because it's cheaper payment processing fees. Also, you have like a better support, and you can customize your checkout, which is also nice because you can integrate like a video, and it's like shipping protection. You when you charge like $2 at a higher scale for shipping protection of a product, you can easily make like 15 to 30K a month only with that. Then we use Zipify for increasing the AOV, and of course Klaviyo for all the emails, and also like returning customer, upselling different products, yeah, making like a VIP program, building a community via emails, and also those things you should consider and keep in mind when scaling your brand. I think that's everything I have to say about all those things. I hope this video was valuable to you. Please give me a feedback if you don't like it, and also let me know if I should go deeper into one specific yeah, step here. Yeah, and I hope you like it. See you soon.